dropped at free fall for almost 3 seconds. The landmark tower was less than half the height of Building 7, so the collapse lasts only about 4 seconds. Nevertheless, both buildings dropped at almost the same acceleration for the first few seconds of their collapse. Then they dropped at roughly constant velocity. In the case of the landmark tower, we know the supporting structures of several floors were destroyed. In the case of Building 7, it is thought by many that fire caused the collapse after other damage left the building weakened. Would a fire take out the supporting structures of several floors all at the same time? Or would a fire cause a progressive collapse? Here is a simplified drawing of Building 7. If fire heats up steel beams to their failure point, the beams would first reach a temperature at which they bend and give way. Beams in a fire would lose some of their strength well before they lost all of their strength. Therefore, the building would drop, but not at free fall acceleration. In addition, a fire would be very likely to weaken some beams before others, leading to a partial or progressive collapse. Take a look at a real fire collapse. Notice how the collapse is partial, uneven, and nowhere near free fall acceleration.
Ja, dan gaan we eruit. Shit! Stop in.
This video of a building in Holland is the closest example anyone can find of a building dropping anything like Building 7 because of a fire. Of course, there are many examples of buildings dropping like Building 7 because of a controlled demolition.
Ja, dan gaan we eruit. Shit! Stop in. Ja, dan gaan we eruit. Shit! Stop in.
It had 81 columns, 57 columns around the edge, and 24 core columns inside.
In order for the perimeter to fall perfectly and symmetrically, which it pretty much does at Building 7, all of those columns have to be removed within a tenth of a second of each other. Fire cannot do that. Controlled demolition can.
A structural engineer who's joined Richard Gage's group says he can imagine 1 or 2 columns collapsing.
It is possible that you could have a local failure as a result of a connection failing. But the likelihood of that failure dragging the entire building in such a fashion that all the columns would fail at the same time is an impossibility.
Impossibility?
Yes.
De mensen die geloven in het complot hebben het vaak over gebouw nummer 7. Dat was een wolkenkrabber van 47 verdiepingen naast de Twin Towers. Op 11 september 2001 heeft er brand gewoed, maar er is nooit een vliegtuig ingevlogen. Toch is ook dit gebouw op 11 september ingestort. Deze gebeurtenis heeft nooit veel aandacht gekregen en ook Denny Jowenko heeft er nooit van gehoord. Zijn reactie op de beelden die we laten zien is onbevangen.
Zie je vanaf boven gaan? Nee, je gaat vanaf onder.
Die gaat vanaf onder, ja.
Toch?
Ja.
Ze hebben gewoon kolommen weggeblazen. Er is nagesprongen.
Dit valt anders dan het World Trade Center.
Vind je niet dan?
Ja, je ziet het, de onderste verdiepingen gaan eerst.
Ja, en de rest zakt er gewoon in. Dus dit is controlled demolition.
Zeker weten.
Zeker weten. Er is nagesprongen. Dit is in opdracht gebeurd. Dit heeft een team gedaan van experts.
Maar dit is ook op 11 september gebeurd.
Dezelfde dag?
Dezelfde dag.
Dezelfde dag? Weet je dat zeker?
Ja.
Was het zeker weten de 11e? Totaal heel waar zijn.
7 uur nadat de World Trade Center naar beneden viel.
Ja? Hebben ze hard gewerkt.
In het officiële onderzoeksrapport van FEMA staat dat ze niet kunnen verklaren waarom gebouw nummer 7 is ingestort. Uitgebreid bespreken we alle mogelijke oorzaken met Danny Jowenko.
Dat weet ik niet precies, maar ze hebben wel...
Maar hij blijft erbij dat het gebouw is opgeblazen.
Kolommen zijn gevallen.
Het is vakwerk, zonder meer. We weten heel goed wat ze doen, die jongens.
De vraag is dan, is zoiets van tevoren voorbereid of kan dat op 11 september zelf nog zijn besloten en uitgevoerd?
Met hoeveel man heeft u hoeveel tijd nodig om dat te doen?
Dat weet ik niet precies, maar...
Maakt u een inschatting?
Ja, dan moet je wel ervaren mensen hebben, maar als je een man of 30, 40 zou hebben. Kijk, een paar met de snijbrander, de rest brengt hem aan. Andere mensen sluiten dat deadcord met die boosters aan. Dat moet allemaal precies op hetzelfde moment gaan. En weer een derde die zet de elektronische systemen erop. En dan gaat hij.
Terwijl overal brand was en ook in dat gebouw was brand.
Dat is niet geblust.
Ze hebben de brand niet geblust. Dus de mensen die dat moesten doen, die moesten het doen terwijl het binnen nog brandde.
Ja, dat is vreemd. Dat is vreemd. Dat vind ik ook heel vreemd. Daar heb ik geen verklaring voor.
Danny Jowenko.
Hi, is Danny there?
Yes, that's me.
Hi, Danny. Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm calling you from Canada.
Hello.
Hi, I was just wondering, real quickly, I know you had commented on World Trade Center Building 7 before.
Yes, that's right.
And I've come to my conclusions too that it couldn't have came down by fire.
No, absolutely not.
Are you still sticking by your comments where you say it must have been a controlled demolition?
Absolutely.
Yes? And you as being a controlled demolitions expert, you've looked at the building, you've looked at the video, and you've determined with your expertise that...
I looked at the drawings, the construction, and it couldn't be done by fire. No, absolutely not.
Okay, because I was reading on the internet, people were asking about you, and they said, I heard something that Danny Jowenko retracted his statement of what he said earlier about World Trade Center 7, now saying that it came down by fire. And I said, there's no way that's true.
No, absolutely not.
Because if anybody was like when I've called controlled demolitions here in North America,
yes,
they tell me that, oh, it's possible it came down from fire and this and that and stuff like that.
Listen, when the FEMA makes a report that it came down by fire and you have to earn your money in the States as a controlled demolition company, and you say, no, it was a controlled demolition, you're gone, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You'll be in a lot of trouble if you say that, right?
Of course. That's the end of the end of the story.
Yeah, because I was calling demolitions companies just to ask them if they use the term "pullet" in demolition terms, and even Controlled Demolitions Incorporated said they did, but the other people didn't want to talk to me about Building 7 really, because they knew what happened and they didn't want to say it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm very sorry for bothering you, and thank you very much for your time, sir.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So the question is, do you believe what you can see with your own eyes, or do you believe what you are told?